Time to warm up. Get ready to rock.
MP, you got that look in your eye tonight.
The setting, Miami, Florida, with game time only moments away. The Jazz taking on the Heat. For the Utah Jazz, kind of a seesaw affair over the last 10 games. But this team feels they are better than a 500 team. They look to tip that balance with the win here. Heat, Jazz is next. It's Saturday night and live on 2K Sports. We've got the excitement of the NBA for you tonight. Alongside Greg Anthony and Stan Van Gundy, this is Kevin Harlan. David Aldridge will be joining us from the sideline. As we approach the halfway mark, let's take a look at how everything stands out west. Take a look at the Jazz. They're way down there in the conference standings, looking for a lot of improvement during the second half of the season. Checking out Utah's opening lineup. In it forward, it's going to be Markkanen and Collins. The guard pair, it's George and Sexton. And it's Filipowski in at center. And for Miami, Hero out there with Mitchell. Then it's Bam Adebayo. Then there's A-Train, and it's Ware in at the 5. Coming into this game, Stan, it's clear who the media thinks will win. We've been reading about it and hearing about it for the last couple days.
Yeah, but Kevin, you know, none of us in the media know what we're talking about. It's just a lot of speculation. And look, it's a cliche, but it's also true. The games aren't won on paper, they're won out on the court, and anyone in the NBA can beat anyone else on a given night.
Which makes me look forward to this one.
Absolutely.
And as MP told us at the start of the season, he wants to be at the top of his rookie class. Seen by everyone as the clear-cut standout. How would you qualify his performance in that regard?
Look, I commend MP for a great goal to set your sights on, but the results so far have been mixed. Rookie struggles are different for everyone, and he just hadn't found his footing as quickly as he had hoped.
And it's Miami's ball, and this game, the first chance they've had to see Utah.
And going back a season ago, it was a win for both sides in their two meetings.
Yeah, these non-conference matchups are a good measuring stick for a team. Taking on less familiar opponents can tell you a lot.
With a short break in the action gives us a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, I did speak with head coach Eric Spoelstra. Now, I asked Coach about the defensive game plan tonight, and he said preventing easy buckets around the rim, and that starts with John Collins. He's a great interior scorer, especially when he gets ahead of steam, so we have to limit those opportunities. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, David. And guys, hold on now. I'm getting word we have Shams Charania calling in. Shams, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, Lauri Markkanen had said all along he was content to stay in Utah. And after signing a contract extension, He remains with the Jazz. He turns 28 in May, so he's just entering his prime. There's plenty of runway left if the Jazz think he can guide them back to the playoff mix, and with the timing of when Markkanen signed his extension, he is not trade eligible during this season.
Johns, we really appreciate the update. We know how detailed you are. Thanks so much.
Well, this is something George does a good job of, creating chances for others to score.
Mitchell kicks to Hero. They set the pick. Back to Mitchell. Pass to Ware from past the arc. That one's in, his first shot this game.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
George passes to Collins. Back to George. Right side Markkanen. Nice ball movement by Utah. Markkanen a screen on Mitchell. The three from George. It's hauled in by Bam Adebayo. The Heat leading by 4. Here's A-Train, coming off a solid outing against Indiana. The Jazz have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. And George kicks to Collins. Pass to Markkanen. Now here's Collins. He's guarded by Adebayo. That one falls.
Yeah, tough-nosed veteran. Collins is no stranger to having to overcome aggressive defense.
And first quarter, we're about 3.5 minutes in. A-Train can't get it to drop. Outside, Markkanen. Now, here's George. Puts up a 3. It's hauled in by the Heat.
I can't believe he missed that 3. Regardless, that's not a shot the defense should be given.
Here's A-Train. Yep, that one goes in there. A-Train's got 8 points.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
Well, when you are the aggressor this early, it is intimidating.
Now, here's Markkanen. He had 15 points last outing. Count that one. Markkanen's got his second basket of the game. Miami's gone 3 of 6, 50% from deep so far tonight. You know, Greg, thinking back to the glory days in Utah, they went to back-to-back finals in 97 and 98.
Unfortunately, though, Kevin, that Stockton-Malone era, they just couldn't overcome the dynastic Bulls. The Jazz still searching for that first NBA title.
And they're unable to get the tying basket there. The Heat have gone 4 for 9 from the field to start this game off. Here's A-Train. Solid as a rock from 20 feet away. 10 points for him.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
George passes to Filipowski.
Well, he led him with the pass there, almost like a quarterback timing a route. That was impressive.
The Heat have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. A-Train good.
It just seems like the more he touches it, the more the lead grows.
And so George will bring it up for Utah. Trailing by 4. Stood on the wing. Off target from outside. For Miami, they've gotten 6 of 11 shots to go down so far. Pretty nice shooting. Here's A-Train. It's hauled in by George. Jazz trail by 4. Lobbed up there for Collins. And finished off by Collins.
Well, great to see in-sync offense like this. The pass is perfectly timed, and Collins rises up and puts it down.
And we'll have a timeout called by Eric Spoelstra. Looking for a breather and maybe just 1 or 2 things to talk about. Both teams will make substitutions. Now let's take a look at the top rookies in the league. Our rankings here for the race for Rookie of the Year. Distinction every young player would love to have. You take a look at the A-Train. Well, he's shown he's a force as we move along in the meat of the season, sitting pretty at that #1 spot now, and it's his race to lose.
And this is just a special player. No question he should be favored for the Rookie of the Year award at this point.
Well, no debate here. He's running away with it and looks poised for big things to come.
Utah's gone 1 of 5 from downtown in the first quarter. Points out there have been hard to come by. Clarkson for 3. The shot goes in. First shot, first basket.
Yeah, not the most accurate three-point shooter, but Clarkson makes enough to keep you honest.
Pass to Wiggins. Stolen by Clarkson. Here's the break. Here's Collier. Finish off the break.
Well, that's why they're in front. Aggressive play at both ends. Nicely done.
Mitchell with it. No scoring in this one. Wiggins outside. Bangs home the trifecta. Wiggins has got the game tied up here for the Heat. It's all tied in Miami. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And getting going again here in the second quarter. Fairly close game so far. And what stands out to you guys from the Heat in this one?
Just stretching out the floor at first. They had the defense scrambling.
Yeah, and when you're hitting threes early, that opens up the floor and really helps your offense.
And so in the game for the Jazz, they've got Markkanen. Collier out there with Jordan Clarkson. And it's Hendricks in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Anderson can't get it to go.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Oh, why, dunk you very much.
He can really fly, and you combine that, Greg, with some nice situation to, and you've got 2 points. A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David.
Kevin, thank you. The Utah Jazz last season became one of the first teams in the league to move their games to broadcast television. It's a gamble, but they just about tripled their reach. And with the rapid growth in the region, they have a chance to attract new fans. Kevin, no doubt, other NBA teams are keen to see how this goes.
Oh, David, no question at all. And thank you for your report. Love kicks to Mitchell. It's a pick by Love. Good ball movement here by Miami. Fires for 3. And with that shot, the Jazz lead is cut back down to 2 at those points for Mitchell.
Matching baskets from the perimeter, an earmark of today's game.
Yeah, sometimes you get in a shootout like this, but you just hope that you can get a stop first.
Here's Collier. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game. Markkanen, good.
And he's on a good pace here from three-point range. Made 1 in the first, 2 more here in the second. It seems like with more to come. And what I love about Markkanen, he takes care of the basketball. And that's a result of being patient, playing smart, and just generally getting his points within the flow of the offense.
Well, that's a miss you can live with. I expect they'll go to it again, especially if the defense continues to concede it.
The Heat trail by 5. Wiggins finds Mitchell. Back to Wiggins. Screen by Wiggins. Mitchell wide open. Again, Mitchell missing.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
Pass to Markkanen. Banked in off the glass. Markkanen's got the lead up to 7 now for the Jazz.
Well, when you look at what he's provided them on the offensive end, it's been an important part of why they're leading.
And we'll have a timeout called by Eric Spoelstra. He wants a minute here to get things straightened out with his team. And a new group in for the Heat. Nikola Jovic is checked in for Love. Bam Adebayo comes in for Kyle Anderson. A-Train, he's checked in for Jaime Jaquez. And Hero subbed in for Davion Mitchell. Filipowski, he's checked in for Utah. John Collins comes in for Markkanen. To the middle. Here's A-Train. Collins grabs the miss. Jazz leading by 7. Here's Collier. Outside Collins. Filipowski passes to Clarkson. Pocket 6. It's hauled in by Bam Adebayo. Adebayo's got 5 rebounds tonight. And a little under 3.5 minutes elapsed in the second quarter of play. A-Train, good.
Able to get a layup out of that one. That's just soft defense there.
Here's Collier. He's covered by Hero. Pass to Sensabaugh. Clarkson outside. Launches a 3. Miami grabs the miss. Adebayo's got 6 rebounds in the game. Here's A-Train. He's got 14. And the 3 off target.
so far, he hasn't had the same luck from deep in this quarter.
Stan, of all the different styles of offense in this NBA, what style is the toughest to defend, toughest to stop?
Kevin, I don't think there's really any difference in terms of styles or systems in terms of what's tough to stop. It's players. And it's how well a system maximizes their best players. That's what makes teams tough to stop.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Well, this coaching staff loves to see Clarkson passing. He's developed that portion of his game.
Here's A-Train. With his average of more than 32 points a game, he's giving opponents nightmares with his firepower. Now, PropahYO. Hero, that's a two-pointer. Busts the J after the cagey pass fake. Hero's got his first bucket of the night. And so Clarkson will bring it up for the Utah Jam. And a first time out of the game called for Utah. So, Stan, you can talk about this. We always hear about Heat culture, the Miami franchise, from top to bottom. Everybody is all in and focused in one direction, aren't they?
Yeah, Kevin, I think that is the greatest strength the Heat have had as an organization is they are all on the same page. And I think they've done it in large part is they have great continuity. If you just look up and down their staff, guys have been there forever. And that allows them to have a very consistent culture.
And teams have tried to copy that, and it's been very hard, hasn't it?
Well, it's been hard because the part they leave out is the consistency part. You can't build that kind of culture when you're making changes with your coaching staff and your front office every 2 to 3 years.
And Utah making a change here. Wiggins against Sexton. Here's Filipowski. 6 points for him. The Jazz with another miss. There's a minute 34 left to play in the first half. Here's A-Train. Launches it. That ball's nice feed that time from Wiggins. 17 points for A-Train.
And that gets him going here in the second after hitting 2 from long range in that first.
Let's check in with our reporter, David Aldridge.
Hi, Kevin. Well, A-Train in the last game against the Pacers was terrific. He scored 46 points, and he reached that total with some superb shooting from deep. The level he played at in that one was incredible. Now, he always wants to play his best against their rivals, and to say the least, mission accomplished. Guys?
Thanks, David. Greg, it was obvious. He was having a lot of fun out there. Tremendous victory.
I'll tell you, he may have been enjoying himself, but whoever was matched up against him certainly wasn't.
Yeah, well, winning is usually fun, especially when you have it going like he did.
Now George, after the missed 3 from A-Train. Inside, here's Markkanen. Got a hand on it. Nice work on the board. It's paying off with the basket. Markkanen's got 10 points now just in this quarter.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
Up top, Hero, defended by George. Outside, Hero. Traps in the tray. Hero's got 5.
And that pick takes the D totally out of the equation.
Yeah, you've got to lock and trail hard. You can't allow him a clean look.
Lauri Markkanen getting it done for the Jazz. He got to double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. And we'll be back with you shortly.
Thanks for joining us. The story through the first half, the Miami Heat in a game so far that's been close.
What a job they did from three-point land. I don't know if they can keep this up, though, Kenny.
Yeah, it's hard to hit threes at this pace for a whole game, but hey, as long as you're hot, keep taking them.
Okay, fellas, now a look at the sharpshooters lining up for the three-point contest.
Some really interesting names here. So many great shooters in the league. That said, I know who I would pick. Shaq?
Shaq Shadama says you've picked the wrong guy, Kenny.
Thanks for joining us. Now let's toss it to Kevin Harlan for the start of the second half.
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. A-Train has been sensational.
Well, we'll find out if they were able to find an answer for him over the break. He was scoring with ease in that first half.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they drew up in the locker room, because you're right. He's the problem right now.
Utah leading by... three. Bam Adebayo is out there with A-Train. Then it's Mitchell. Then it's Tyler Hero. And it's Ware in at the 5 spot. So that's where Eric Spoelstra starts the second half with. And for the Jazz, the last few seasons, Coach, have been a period of rebuilding.
Yeah, it has, Kevin. You know they acquired a lot of draft capital when they traded Gobert and Mitchell. And they've since drafted a lot of young talent and still have plenty of picks to work with.
First one falls for him. Analytics or the eye test? The optics or the numbers in front, Greg? When you're judging the performance of a player, what kind of criteria do you use?
Well, an MVP candidate recently said, my eye test tells me this guy's a terrible defender, but the analytics tell me he's a great defender. I'm confused, and I often feel the same way.
And Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Miami Heat, receiving a record 8-year, $120 million extension. They got some big dough.
Is it ever? It remains coaching for the only NBA franchise he's ever worked for. Already one of the most tenured head coaches in the association, and that figures to continue for a while.
Here's A-Train, and the Heat, another three.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Their last 5 baskets, 3 have been triples.
Down low, here's Filipowski. The shot's good on the assist by George. Filipowski's got 11 points.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Pass to A-Train. For the tie. And it's Utah with the rebound. Collins has got rebound number 5 here tonight. Sexton deciding where to go with it. Here's Filipowski. It's hauled in by Bam Adebayo. Adebayo's got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. A-Train can't get it to drop. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Utah Jazz. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Markkanen kicks to George. Misses the 3.
And when you can't get anything to fall, it definitely gets in your head.
Yeah, they might want to draw something up here to get him something at the rim or get him to the free throw line. Sometimes that's all it takes to snap a cold streak.
Utah leading. Outside, Markkanen. Hero brings the double team. Sexton for 3. Sinks the triple. And the Jazz lead by 4.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
Outside, Hero. Here's Ware, and he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Well, he's more than just a shooter. Hero can run offense, a solid ball handling option.
Utah has gone 1 of 2 from beyond the arc since coming out of the break.
That those plays can make a difference in a game like this.
Well, you know it's going to fire up, Greg, everybody on that bench.
And guys, you cannot allow that in a close game. You have to make it harder than that.
A-Train, good.
Well, that brings his total to 5 makes from beyond the arc for the game. Feeling some confidence from range.
And that one is hammered home.
Pushing the action, getting others involved. He does it time and time again.
Yeah, when you're moving the ball like that, it just keeps everyone engaged in the game.
On the free throw, no good. Well, Greg, over the last few seasons, one area of consistency for the Jazz has been their rebounding.
Yeah, and they have some size, and they make controlling the boards a focal point. When you're playing Utah, you better be ready to put a body on somebody.
Shot clock at 5. Mitchell with it. Guarded now by Sexton. The shot by Mitchell, no good. Jazz leading by 3. Outside, Sexton. There's the triple. Miami grabs the miss. After this one, they're off to Sacramento to take on the Kings. That's the first of 6 played on the road. And Anderson slams it in.
You could just see Anderson there looking to jam it.
George passes to Filipowski. Now, here's Collins. Nice ball movement by Utah. Sexton's shot is good.
That's inexcusable defense right there. You gotta contest the shot better than that.
Now, Hero. He has 7. For the 3. It's hauled in by George. Utah has gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them.
Yeah, he tried to adjust, but he got smothered. Good defense.
Mitchell against George. A clear look for Mitchell. And, yep, finally dropped after rolling around the rim. Mitchell's got his second basket of the night.
That's just poor defense there. You can't give up these kind of looks from the mid-range.
Utah calls timeout. Wiggins is checked in for Hero.
Make some noise once again for your Miami Heat dancer.
Clarkson outside. 1:53 left to play here in the third. Here's Hendricks. Good D from Love.
Something that's kept this game close is the fact that the rebound stats for both teams are almost identical.
Love with the screen for Wiggins. For the tie. No good on that one. Jazz have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. A minute 20 left here in the third quarter. Back to Clarkson. Fires from deep. Nikola Jovic just checked in for Miami.
Now in the game, number 5,
Heat have gone 7 of 12 from the floor since coming out of the break. And here is Mitchell. He's got 5. Pass to Anderson. 5 to shoot. There's a screen. That doesn't go on the chance to tie.
Well, the defense was right where they needed to be to stop the layup. Great awareness and effort.
Hendricks, good.
And after really leaning on that three-point shot in the first half, seeming like they're just getting away from it here in the second. More of the shots coming from the interior.
Mitchell with it. Wiggins left side. That's a 2 from Martin. Hendricks pulls it in.
Yeah, well, that's a shot the defense is probably going to let him keep taking.
Now Clarkson. He has 5. From downtown, buries it from three-point range. Now it's a 7-point Jazz lead.
And that pick takes the D totally out of the equation.
Yeah, you've got to lock and trail hard. You can't allow him a clean look from that.
And so it's the Utah Jazz heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. Back to the action in just a minute. And a worthy candidate tonight as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
It's just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
Wow, that was an absolute masterpiece of an assist. He knew exactly when to deliver the ball, and it made for a beautiful score.
Fourth quarter of action is upon us. Thanks as always for joining us. Taking a look at the Jazz. They've got Clarkson, also Collier out there, and it's Sensabaugh in at the small forward position. And with that, the Jazz lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from A-Train.
And he's just living out beyond the arc right now. What a weapon to have on the floor.
Well, he's firing away with confidence from downtown. The defense better adjust to this, and fast.
A 3-ball. Rebounded by the Jazz. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Here's Collier. It's hauled in by the Heat. A-Train's got 4 rebounds in this game.
Well, sometimes it's just not your night. But despite his struggles, they're ahead in the game.
A 3-pointer off the mark. Utah leading by 4. Pass to Martin. Here's Clarkson. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle and 2 shots coming up. It's going to be on Andrew Wiggins.
Well, look, Clarkson is a great guy to have in your lineup simply due to his versatility.
And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for Utah.
Well, they've really been sharing the basketball. All coaches talk about that, try to get their teams to do it. It's really great when you see it in action.
And on top of that, they've really been dialed in from deep, just dropping triple after triple.
First free throw is good. Well, the Miami Heat have always been in contention, Stan, for the East, and you've worked in the organization. Why is that?
Well, look, Kevin, I'll admit to a bit of a bias here, but they have a great coach, maybe the best in the league. He's been there since 2008. That consistency and continuity really helps, and this team expects themselves to win no matter what they go through.
The Heat trail by 6. Hero passes to A-Train. Latrey hits it from 3-point range. A-Train's got a couple of 3-pointers now in the fourth for the Heat.
And you know, he's really been one of the few bright spots for them, trying to will this team to victory.
Here's Clarkson, open and close and nails it. Clarkson's got 4 points this quarter.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Here's A-Train. No good on the 3. Utah leading by 5. Here's Collier. It's hauled in by Hero. And here's Hero. He'll bring it up for the Heat. To the paint. PropahYO passes to A-Train. Lets it go from deep. Connects from three-point range. A-Train's got 34 points.
Man, the triples keep falling, guys. That's 3 in a row.
Pass to Sensabaugh. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Wiggins against Clarkson. Ware kicks to PropahYO. Hero from long range. And the Heat, another 3.
Yeah, great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Jazz have gone 1 of 5 from the field here in the fourth. A lot of misses, just the one make. Wiggins against Clarkson. To the inside. Sensabaugh plays it up and banks it in. Sensabaugh's got his first 2 points of the night.
And you don't want to allow too many of those short ones with the game right now in the balance.
Back to Hero. A great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and nasty jam.
Well, he brings the heat. Hero giving the people what they came to see.
The Jazz call timeout. A switch here. Mitchell's checked in. It's time now to hear from our Hall of Fame reporter, David Aldridge. What's the latest, David?
Well, during that timeout, the coach of the Jazz talked to his team. He asked his team to dig deep. He said, I know you're tired, but they're tired too. It's about who can give more than the other guy at this point. Show me what you can give. Back to you.
Thanks, David. And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
That's a careless pass and a wasted possession. That's just unnecessary.
We've played just over 3.5 minutes now in the fourth quarter. Pass to A-Train. Shoots the three. Rebound, Utah. Sexton on the wing. He's covered by Hero. Count that one.
Well, that is why George was a first-round pick. He's adept at moving the ball.
Miami trailer. Mitchell kicks to Adebayo. Here's A-Train. The three. That's in, coming off an assist from Adebayo. And it's 37 points for A-Train.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
Markkanen looking it over. Back to George. And that one drops for him. George has got it all tied up now for Utah.
Check out George showing up in the big moment, showing how ready he is to be that guy.
Here's A-Train. And again for three. Buries his 10th triple of the game.
Unbelievable.
Jazz trail by 3. Outside, Markkanen. It falls for his 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9.
Well, they needed someone to step up there, and it's Markkanen who answers the call.
Pass to Adebayo. Inside. And Hero the bucket on the assist by Adebayo. Hero's got 9 points here in the second half. And there's a minute 45 left to play here in the fourth. George against Mitchell. Here's Markkanen, and it's blocked. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will retain possession. Let's take a second look at that fantastic block.
Yeah, quick thinking pays off big. What a block.
There's a minute 34 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Filipowski. It's number 9 to fall. He's only taken 10 shots. The Heat with the lead. Hero passes to A-Train. This one for 3. Hits the three-point bomb. A-Train's got 43 points.
Guys, he's been a one-man air raid coming at them time and time again.
Well, what I love about his three-point shooting is the spacing that he's adding. It makes things a lot easier for everyone else.
Jacks up a 3. He can't get that one.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
And George, here we go. It's good! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Big-time basket at a big-time moment.
Yeah, don't you just love to see a player embrace that kind of pressure?
George against Mitchell. Beyond the arc. Rebound, Utah.
Well, the defense got lucky there. More often than not, he's making that shot.
Here's George. It's Adebayo with the rebound. And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
That's right. No other option but to foul and hope for some misses.
Here's Hero. And so they foul intentionally.
First personal foul. Second team foul. Now at the line, Tyler Hero. 2.
Shooting 2.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And so he drops them both. It's a 4-point ballgame.
A very successful visit to the line for him. Now this is a 2-possession game.
Utah calls timeout. There's 18 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Turning here to our analysts, what factors, guys, come to your mind?
An uphill climb. They need everything to break their way.
Well, I'm sure they'll run a play they believe in. If it works, I say try for the steal, and if you don't get it, immediate foul.
There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Here's George. The Jazz with another miss. And there's the intentional foul. No choice but to stop the clock here. Drops the first one, and that puts them up by 5. And he cannot convert on the second. That misses. And the Jazz call time here. They're down by 5. And let's get your take, guys. What's the strategy?
Looking for a quick shot, trying to extend the game.
Yeah, and then they have to foul quickly and hope for some misses at the line.
Outside, marking it. Sexton for 3. That shot, no good. Good! Ho, ho! What a shot!
Oh my gosh, he made that?
And so it's Miami winning this one. A confident win and one where they clearly showed the greater effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid performance, particularly here at home. And I think they built off that edge of being here and playing with just a little more confidence than their opponent.
And that'll wrap it up, folks. So, for Stan Van Gundy, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you later.
That's what I'm talking about. They talk the talk, but you walk the walk.